I welcome all Laravel fans to the CutCode channel. Friends, cheers, it's done! Laravel 10 is finally out. At first, we were deceived by saying that it will be released on February 7th. Then they changed the deadlines to first quarter. No one understood in what period exactly Laravel would be released. But as a result, quite recently, Taylor posted on his Twitter that February 14th is the holiday of all fans of Laravel, and Laravel will come out on that day. And so it happened. Today is the recording day on February 15th. Just yesterday, Laravel came out, and today we will look at it, review it, install new Laravel, see what has changed there, and upgrade the real dollar project to L10. In general, friends, get ready to just relearn. Everything you knew in Laravel 9 will not work in Laravel 10 now. But this is of course a joke. This is wrong. Nothing really new has changed. If at Apple presentations every year they just change the color of new devices, then here in general, Laravel simply upgraded the dependencies, switched to PHP 8.1 and added a few features without which in principle we could have done just that. But this is if you directly expect something revolutionary. But in general, Laravel developers summed up the year of active pull requests Laravel repository. So friends, plan for the video. We are looking at what has changed, how to update, trying to update and see what's new in the new project on Laravel 10. Okay, let's go. So what's new in the official documentation? So when Laravel 11, also in the first quarter 24, and we'll also move to the next version of PHP, namely 8.2. Here is some text. 8.1 is our minimum. Then we finally added type hint for returned values for arguments, added doc blocks to arrays, and so on. In general, everything that we were promised to do back in the 9th version finally appeared in 10th. I hope that in all places they are somewhere where they wanted to be. Okay, then a package appeared in the box. As I understand it, Pennant, which allows you to declare certain flags and interact with them, can be stored both in an array in memory and in a database. I think it will be useful especially in some packages, but in general I usually do the same thing myself, and it's not particularly difficult to use my own solutions. But okay, we'll definitely take a look and it's applicable somewhere. And in turn, write a comment if you want a review on this pennant. I will definitely take it off and talk in details. Then we have a facade process that allows us to interact with a CLI comment line and, say, execute any comments in the process. You can now execute the composer update npm build there directly in the console comments and so on. It will also be extremely useful, I think, as part of developing your own packages, say in the installation team, so that assets are immediately built, any dependencies are installed in the composer. In general, what is happening now in the same jet stream when it intervenes and installs what it needs. In general, in my Moonshine package I do the same. So further, as part of the tests, the profile option appeared and we can observe which tests we run slowly and then either optimize them or do parallel tests. In general, information on tests, and we have the pest option by default, and we can initially generate the application with tests out of the box. This is great news, especially for those who have already switched to pest tests and completely immersed themselves in them. Okay, let's go further. Now, when we generate something, let's say a controller, if we do not point to name earlier, we needed name controllers, then there is a user controller. If not, then an error occurred, Now we will have, as it were, a question in the console, and we will need to enter the name of the controller, and then it will be generated, and so on for all such commands. And we are also told that the horizon and the telescope have been updated a bit in design. Okay, with the fact that we have a new one, we figured out not very much. Let's now move on to the section on how to upgrade our Laravel from version 9 to 10. So let's look at the upgrade guide. Look, as always, everything is divided into high, medium and low levels. As part of the high mandatory, we have PHP 8.1. This is already clear. Many people talked about this. Composer 2.2 and further, you need to change the dependencies of the Laravel framework, respectively. Put 10 and Laravel Ignition, put 2 instead of the first version. They also optionally tell us if you want to use PHP Unit 10, then also change the dependencies of collision and accordingly PHP Unit to 10 and a little correct PHP Unit XML and Discover Edge. You need to remove the process on covered files attribute. This is understandable, and I think it says the pest is now working smoothly with PHP Unit 10. Moving on. Also in the composer we need to change at least 100. Take it to the stable, we'll go through the points again when we do all this. Now let's quickly go over each point and so on. If we have a public path changed, then like this in the new style, you need to customize this moment. The impact is minimal. In our project, the directory has changed nowhere from public to any other. Okay, let's move on. Here we have a comment in the box that cleans up the garbage within the radish, and now you need by default, if you use radish, add this comment to the kernel to clean up the garbage. Nothing complicated, but if you use Redis, be sure to add. Let's go further. Here we have DB raw. Let's open it, take a look at it right away. What we had there in the old version of Laravel, so the round is okay. Let's move on. Here we have it here. Here is the get value that will be discussed. So we are told that earlier dbraw inside had that string method. Yes, it is here. If we called it somewhere, it was immediately converted to a string. Now we are told that there is no string, so that you pay attention to it. All this is done with such a slight complication that we have get value before it didn't take any parameters at all. Now it takes query grammar, and all this is done so that in the future Laravel will somehow pump these moments here. But for now we just take it into account, and if we use it somewhere, then we take this moment into service. Let's go further. Now we have a query exception. The constructor has changed a bit, and a new parameter has appeared. I have not spit out this exception anywhere on my own. If you spit it out somewhere, then be sure to look at what is there with the constructor and what has changed in terms of parameters. Let's move on to the table ULID migration. Fixed the problem. Before, when we created the ULID column and did not specify the name, then by default the column was called UUID, which is a little contrary to the essence. Now it has been changed and ULID generates the ULID column by default, and you can set what you need. Moving on. Eloquence friends have finally removed the dates properties. If you remember earlier, we were created there and so on. Everything that we cast in Carbon was added to the properties of the data, and the same was done within the framework of the cast property. As a result, every time they asked the question why these dates needed at all, finally it was removed. Only casts remained, and here we can specify casts for fields with date. Alright, then we renamed the relation of getBase square to base. If you use it somewhere, rename it too. I looked into the moonshine as there was a high probability that somewhere there I use it, but no. So at this point I did not pay attention. Okay, localization. As you remember, in the previous release of a Laravel 9 we moved the lang from resource C to a higher level. In this release, lang was completely cut out of the original box. And now to add localizations, you need to run the lang publish command. In fact, if your website is not in English, you will always need to add this lang publish. So I think this fix was redundant. So on. We now use the monologue of the third version. If you use a monologue somewhere, then you also need to pay attention to the upgrade guide on the monologue. Further in quiz. Renamed was dispatcher to call synchronous now dispatch sing. In general, the enol was not bad. Now the sing, okay, let it be. Sing if used somewhere, then go through the project and rename it. Further friends, middleware aliases. Yes, this moment has always been an eyesore for me too. Let's open the kernel here, was the root middleware and alias were contained here. This confused many, and what exactly is here? If they immediately called it middleware aliases, then there would be no questions. Now, renamed root middleware, we have middleware alias, everything is clear, and it is clearly better this way. So now we have a rate limit from the tempo returns, the result of the closure. Okay, let's keep in mind. And also the moment that always pissed me off is that all the replicators, there was this home property with a link to the main one, although we use named roots everywhere. Now this moment has been cut out and we can now not pay attention to it at all. Okay, according to the tests, the application service trait could have changed. It will be removed in the future. So far it has been deprecated and we are immediately offered to use other traits. Or always refer to swag facades with a static method. Okay, the question is not a problem, and here we have rather fix. Our validation file now does not rewrite the array, but complements it. And the last point we still have is such an addition that this is not all. You can go to our repository there, by gender requests, to look for what we have done something else. This release of Laravel 10 is not so small. Be sure to look, you'll find something. Okay, let's move on to the upgrade now, friends. Although it would be more correct to first install the new Laravel 10. Take a quick look at it, and then move on to the upgrade. Let's do that. Okay, Laravel, new, let it be L10. And let's add past tests. Oops, and we are waiting for an error. I don't know what, maybe we haven't completed yet. Let's then without something there, they just cursed with a new one in my opinion. When last time 9 came out, true. We immediately see that we really don't have a lang folder anywhere. Let's take a look at Composer. So framework 10 everything is fine, PHP default unit 10 everything is fine. But our tests didn't figure it out. Let's immediately take a look at the hey lang command. In my opinion, so publish, okay, we have lang, everything also works as it was by default, and let's generate some kind of controller. Hey make controller at the same time, check that we do not specify anything. Will they ask us? They asked about it, and let the user be able to add the controller as well. Wow, it also asks which controller. But let it be so, the controller didn't add anything terrible to us. We look at what we have there and we see that we have type hint for the return value. Cool, let's take a look at the model, and here we have a doc block with in-string array. Here the array was not added, apparently it will be in version 11. All the trump cards are spitting out on me at once. Okay, let's look at the kernel. Here we have middleware aliases. Great, and let's also look at the root service provider. The provider apparently didn't understand something. But we still have home here. Okay, we'll get back to this moment, or write in the comments what they meant there by clicking on the link to the main page. Friends decided to return to the documentation and I got a little excited here. Here's speech not about property and about a method. The home deprecated method will be removed, so use route and your route name to the home page. Okay, back to the project. I also noticed that we still don't have a pennant in our box. It needs to be additionally installed, and here is the facade by processes. Let's take a look. Yes, here we have it. And we can already interact with it. Well friends, the most interesting thing in the end. Let's try to upgrade a real project. The project is covered with tests. So let's first run the tests. Let's see that initially everything is fine, so that we can also check after the upgrade. Okay, we passed the tests, return to the upgrade guide, and let's go point by point to see what is changing there. So Laravel framework and image 10.2. Okay, let's go to the composer, where we have a framework here. Set it to 10. Then we are looking for a second ignition. Let's set the PHP unit to 10. Take a look at our PHP unit XML. What we have in the coverage. Okay, let's remove the colleges to 7. We missed it, where we'll look for a long time. So great, moving on. Minimum stability stable. That we had def there, like earlier let it be stable. We return, so we didn't touch this moment. We don't have radishes here. DB row can be viewed by searching. Whether it was involved is not here. Okay, if that process all the tests we will stumble upon. I think we are moving on. I haven't used ULID anywhere. So dates I already don't have it. Great, back. Look beyond this moment is definitely not. We have lengths already published. Let's check that dispatch now is used somewhere, so find is not here. And it turns out the source directory I initially forgot. Let's also look, so this moment is not there. Look, great, further. So it needs to be renamed with pleasure. I will do this moment, where we have it here. We are moving on perfectly. I don't remember using the closure limit rate to use the home method at all. So I didn't even know about it, so I definitely didn't use this trait. There wasn't anywhere if we suddenly found out. So let's see, at this point everything seems to be working out. So okay, so friends, let's move on to the installing the dependency. Here you can already make your voice sadder, since it's unlikely that we can install a fresh Laravel release with a lot of dependencies already. I think not everyone has yet been updated and added support for Laravel 10. Let's see, remove the composer lock and try to install via composer install. Well, as expected, in the form of an error, we see that we have GVTL there. So I already figured out this library. Here they have a task to add Laravel 10 to support. There is such a ticket. I think they will add it in the near future, so we are waiting for this moment. But we already have to wait. This means that the tests will definitely fail, at least all authentication tests. Let's see what happens next. We will remove this package and wait. We are trying to install again. For sure there will be more than one such package and there will be much more. In fact, I already looked in advance, opened the tabs, and I know which ones are incompatible, so. Look further, we again have a problem and a problem with the center. But in the center we have normal guys. They seem to have already added support, and let's just change the version to 3.2. Okay, let's try again. So request factories, I don't remember whether I opened them or not. I didn't look at these guys, but I think support will also be added in the near future. But in general, they can be cut out. I added them to play around to see what kind of package it is. Let's put it aside for now and move on. But already, as you can see, it's worth the wait, and there are even popular packages that are required in the dollar update in L10, and so on. Here I have my Moonshine, and inside the Laravel file manager. So I kind of opened it, and here the last commit was a year ago with support for Laravel 9. Maybe they will add it, maybe I will have to cut it out. This is my task. But moving on for now, to see what else will be wrong, we cut out the Moonshine and install further. Yes, that's how we started joyfully and quite sadly at the end. So something is going on here. It seems like we tried to install it. But here we have the Moonshine still included in the project. Let's remove it. PHP connects here. Remove it and install it again. Everything is perfectly installed. Let's run it. I am already running it here in a virtual server, so let's go to 127. Okay, we see the error is still a changelog, so we remove the product. Okay, here. And voila, works. Not as we would like. Also, authentication will be broken, or for GVT tokens, but in the near future this point will be corrected, and maybe I will add another video how, after all, I upgraded this project. Waited for Laravel 10 support and also added a Moonshine to my package. So friends, today we're happy that the release of a Laravel 10 took place. They saw that something new was added, they installed a new Laravel 10, but it has not been possible to upgrade yet, so old projects with a large set of dependencies should probably wait a bit until support appears. We actually have no choice. Some small projects can be easily updated. Well, calmly start a new development using 10 as a whole. There are no differences from version 9 as such. And that's all friends, thank you for watching, thank you for the like that you just put. This is extremely important. I look forward to your comments on the process we did today about the Pennant library or about something else from the new Laravel ecosystem, if I didn't take something into account. And that's all friends, thank you all for watching and see you in the next videos on the CutCode channel.